There you are, sitting in your boss's office, in the chair opposite of his or her desk. Your scheduled appointed time that week that you're supposed to have the conversation with him or her. Except they don't seem to be interested in having this conversation. They seem distracted by something. They seem to be preoccupied with other things. They don't answer you in a thorough, engaging manner, and they just don't really pay attention to what you're saying. This is the sign of a disconnected leader. I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. This week, we're going to talk about how you, as a growing leader, can recognize who are the disconnected leaders and why it's important for you to be able to call it out and be able to help the organization be able to work through those challenges. Disconnected leadership does not reflect directly to the ultimate boss, the CEO, the owner, but it does show a reach or a lack of reach from that CEO all the way down when there's disconnects in the hierarchy. You see, a disconnect in the hierarchy, that doesn't only just hit one place, it trickles down. And so if it hits higher in the middle management area, it will trickle down to your frontline employee engaged managers. It's very important for you to be able to say, hey, we have a problem. Trust me, that CEO, that owner, if in those big organizations, they didn't get there because they're just bossy. They actually have some charisma and they actually have some concern about making sure that all levels are engaged. It's just there's so much time in their schedule to be able to do that. So what can you do? Well, this is where if your organization has great policies, you use your chief personnel officer, call them, or your human resources. There should be a policy in place that allows you to anonymously be able to send a report to the chief person officer to allow them knowing that there's disconnections within the leadership of the hierarchy. That way, the executive level can make those corrections and be able to foster that culture that they have envisioned, that they are hoping will happen. Now, as a Marine, hope is not a tactic. So, what do we do to make things happen? If we're the chief executive officers, we inspect what we expect. That means we are checking at all levels, making sure that there's engagement and that there's engaged leadership. You as a growing leader working your way up the ladder, how do you get there? How do you get that corrected? First, call them out. Sorry, it's ugly, it's tough. It's easy for me to say right now. So a personal example that I can relate to this subject is when I was a captain. I had a shop of 43 Marines who were taking care of aircraft. And I was getting frustrated with my boss because he was hardly available to have that conversation. And when we do have that conversation, he was more wanting to tell me about his thoughts and feelings more than receiving, about what's going on. And he used words such as, just tell me things I want to hear, type stuff. And I didn't know how to take that. So having a good relationship with his boss allowed me to be able to seek mentorship. And by doing so, I was able to come with solutions, be able to lead not only my division of Marines, but to be able to lead the maintenance department and to be more effective and getting the results that I know my boss was being hounded on, but it was because I was able to get that mentorship, to get that buy-in from other departments, and actually not really circumventing my boss, but still being able to take a vision, a mission, and some core values and be able to hit the goals that weren't being properly communicated to us. So when it came to evaluation time, he didn't really take it out on me as much as he actually, saw that I was leading the effort and marked me well, and so did my boss's boss for the fact that I used tact to be able to have that conversation with them in their different ways to be able to get the end result that was desired. Having that relationship with your boss's boss allows you to be able to say, I'm seeking mentorship, without diming out or calling out your direct reporting boss who might take it out on you in your evaluations. But having that relationship allows you to be able to work around and get mentorship to help you push forward what the boss's boss is looking for in their vision. If you have any questions on anything we're covered here, hey, hit me up in the comments below and I will answer as soon as I can. Also, hey, if you like what you're hearing, hey, give us a thumbs up. Also, hey, please hit subscribe. Help us spread our message to other growing leaders. If you missed last week's video, check it out. It's right over here. Otherwise, we will talk to you guys again next week.